Good day, gentlemen. First and foremost, if this is your first visit to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and like this video if you enjoy it. The zombie, a human person that returns from the grave robbed of his identity and would, in general, consume everybody who goes in his way, is one of the most established figures in popular imagination, especially owing to movies. From the sluggish and clumsy zombies of George A. Romero's films to the infected, a new version of the original zombie endowed with increased agility and aggression, they all have a common background and are, as they say in the movies, based on true events. According to voodoo tradition, a sorcerer, boker, can perform a ceremony that brings a deceased person back to life, but he does not do it as a favor, rather, the departed returns to life as a slave of the boker, subject to his will. Haitians take these legends very seriously in order to keep their families and loved ones from becoming zombies. Those who can afford it pay for more secure burials, thick slabs or bars on mausoleums, whilst those who cannot afford it resort to tactics such as beheading the deceased or injecting them with enormous volumes of salt water. Cremation, interestingly, is prohibited for religious grounds. Felicia Felix Mentor, a deceased lady who was buried in 1907 and whom many claim to have seen alive 3 decades later, with the same lost stare as those who have been changed into zombies, is the first reported example. In 1937, an American called Zora Neale Hurston examined this topic, coming to Haiti, and found among reports that this operation was carried out with the use of some form of medicine or chemical, albeit her studies did not go any further. It would take 45 years for these stories to be validated, owing to the efforts of an ethnobotanist named Wade Davis, author of 2 volumes on the subject, and revealing that the zombification process was carried out in 2 phases, with each step requiring a different mix of drugs. The first substance is known as coup de powder, or blast of dust, and is the one that puts the unlucky selected one in a coma comparable to death. Shortly after his relatives bury him, the boker and his assistants uncover the grave, physically beat the victim, and inject the second chemical, a potent psychoactive that would wake him up but destroy his brain by cancelling his will. The major component of zombie dust is tetrodotoxin, which is generated from puffer fish and is a fatal toxin that, in the correct amount, may cause severe paralysis for several days. The horrific element is that the victim is aware of all that is going on around him, experiencing his own burial in life, a truly horrifying event that precedes a life of enslavement. Wade Davis reported the account of Clairvius Narcisse, who was discovered in 1980 after legally dying in 1962, and claimed to have escaped from a farm where he had labored as a slave for 2 years as a zombie. When the boker died, he and the other zombies on the plantation began to walk aimlessly, according to what he informed the authorities, but there was no word on the others. Clairvius Narcisse underwent extensive rehabilitation in the hospital, but the brain damage he suffered was never totally corrected.